Don't let other people's limiting beliefs stop you or shake your faith in what you know you desire. You know where you want to be. Don't let them stop you, because sometimes we can have people in our ear, in our circle, and they think that they're, helping us out or looking out for us, but really they're just hindering us and holding us back. Because if God is telling you to jump, take a leap, move by faith, you can't listen to somebody that's afraid, somebody that's never done it before, and they're like, oh, but you can't do that. What if this happens? Or you got to think about this, and you got to think about the stability of it all. And you know, stop. Because at the end of the day, it's like I tell people, if you look at the Bible stories, when they left Egypt and they wandered in the wilderness and they finally made it to the promised land, they didn't know how it was going to turn out. They didn't know anything about the wilderness. So when they were stuck, for like 40 years in the story or whatever. And it's just like, think about it. Think about the level of faith that you would have to go into the wilderness because you believe that you can make it to the promised land because that's what God told Moses, which was leading them. So think about the amount of faith, the amount of confidence that it took to leave all you ever known, which is Egypt, which is the slavery, which is the bondage, which is the oppression, and go through the wilderness, go through the transition to make it to where you desire to be. Freedom, the promised land. And right now, a lot of people are living in Egypt and they're afraid of going through the wilderness. They're afraid of the uncertainty. They're afraid of the instability that comes with taking leaps, moving when it's time to move, taking risk, because that's the only way you break out of the mold, by doing something different than what you've consistently been doing up to this point. Because if you've been doing the same thing and you've been getting the same results, you have to do something different. You have to move and transition because maybe you're being called to do something different. And if you just keep doing the same thing because of fear, because of what other people are telling you, because of their beliefs, guess where you're going to be? In the same exact predicament, the same exact spot, because you're letting another person's fear, another person's limiting beliefs keep you stuck. Because I had a conversation recently with someone and, and they were telling me stuff. Well, they didn't think it was wise, how I take leaps of faith and I move by faith and not by sight. And I go accordingly to what I'm led to do in the spirit, to what I'm inspired to do. And it's like I told them, I've made it through so many things, so many different times, and I didn't see how it was going to turn out right, but it always turned out right at the last minute, up to the last exact day that I needed whatever miracle or whatever event to transpire. It happened on the last exact day. That's how precise God is. That's how miraculous God can show up, man. So it's like I was trying to tell them that, and then I was also telling them, like, you don't know what tomorrow promises, because you can make all these plans, but I've known people that were making plans and they died the very next day, or they died the very next week. And it's like, okay, you can plan, yeah, I'm going to change this in my life, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, but what if you don't have tomorrow? We don't know how many days we have on this earth left. So make every single day count. Stop living in fear based on somebody else's beliefs, because you don't know how much time you're going to have to get to where you need to get to, or where you're destined to get to. And if you're listening to them, they're going to hold you back, and they're going to stop your greatness. They're going to stop you from reaching your promised land and leaving your Egypt. So you may have to go through the wilderness. You may have to go through some tough times. You may have to go through some times when you're like, I don't hear God. I don't feel God. I don't know what I'm doing. None of this makes sense. But keep moving, keep going, keep seeking higher intelligence, keep seeking higher downloads, keep tapping into the Christ consciousness, and you'll make it through. And I say that, like, Christ consciousness, you don't have to be a Christian to understand that basically the Christ consciousness is you downloading from your higher self, from higher connection with God. It's just that simple. So don't let other people's fear and limiting beliefs keep you stuck exactly where you don't want to be. Take that leap. Take that inspired action.